when we first came out on the scene, we didn't want to do much. It's just kind of for fun. But all we wanted to do was just revolutionize the scene. The 815 was kind of slow, so we just started out mixing cuts in the basement, which we turned into a studio. We were living in a squat, this burnout old house that nobody wanted anymore. And we moved in there straight from high school because we just wanted to focus on the music.
I just walk in, checking out the crop, seeing how things are growing, and then bam, I pick up that little whiff, start smelling it, start looking around, and then I hear the cough, the telltale cough. And man, there they are, little fucking DJ Prep Rock, Mr. DJ Mmmkoocies sitting there blazing my profits away. Man, we fucking fought. Everybody went home with broken nose that night. But, I just saw some of those fucking kids' eyes. I don't know what it was, but I don't know. It was pure art. And, they came in, told me they were, a couple DJs laying down some rhymes. And, I've been dabbling a little bit with the producing, checking a couple people out, And they gave me a listen. Man, I liked it. That was instant gold, Immediately, I just started booking shows left and right, all over. Every fucking bar wanted them at first, then we bumped up to the clubs. Oh, man, it was crazy. It started getting real nuts, real out of hand, real fast.
All the DJs in the area, they were always spinning like hip-hop and just shitty dance tracks. And we just weren't into that, It was, it was time for something different. And so, we started cutting all these MIDI files, because back then it was what was up. I mean, it was the height of technology. We were working down in the basement, and, recording these MIDIs off my Casio, and mixing in a little bit of this, a little bit of that, trying to funk it up. And then we would take those tracks, and then we would put them in the computer, and then we would digitize them, and we would emphasize, what we wanted to emphasize. We get some fat beats, and we get some high-pitched tech sounds, mixed in. It was very danceable. It was really danceable at the time. I mean, we were playing shows everywhere. But there was nothing like us, so we were kind of slotted in with all these kind of random kind of music,
We were booking shows pretty regularly, I didn't really have too much trouble booking them. I mean, ladies just fucking love those two. I mean, they were all over Prep Rock and Cookies. Eventually, I picked up this one band I was having a hell of a time trying to book. Code Reckless, actually. They're huge now, but at first, nightmare trying to get them played. Trying to get them some kind of stage time. But, they actually worked real good off each other. Real good off each other.
And so we're going around, we're playing the circuits. We started playing a lot with these cats, Toad Reckless. They were pretty revolutionary. I mean, they were a punk band in nature, but they had this crazy kind of funk fusion going on with this bump bump kind of really flowy bass, and it worked really well. And so we kind of started double billing a lot, and we would get the interim going. So every time the sets change, and we'd be playing in between, and then we'd have our big set, where we just go out, bust out mad, and those were some good times. I mean, we were playing everywhere at that time. I mean, we had gigs out in the city. We were playing deeper out in the burbs. We were doing some rural stuff. We started going out of state in the Tri-County area, the Tri-State area. It was those are some pretty good times. And I mean, it was there that fate had it that eventually we round into G-Zeus. And G-Zeus was really down with the sound, he was digging the beats. You know, he actually he signed us up to do some of his beats, and so so we started like producing on the side. So we had this extra income going on. So it was kind of nice. We started to upgrade our equipment a little bit, you know, and yeah, that's when prep rock started boosting up his persona a little bit, you know, getting a bit flashier, you know, started wearing the jewelry and stuff like that, and I thought it kind of clashed with the image, but, you know, it was just like, let the cat play, you know, as he's getting down with it, you know. It helped boost himself up, you know, so, yeah, why not? Like, let him take, like, the front lead a little bit, you know.
Watching the girls just flash titties all over the place. Those bitches were crazy for those guys. I mean, insane. It almost got too out of hand.
And, yeah, and so, then we cut the first album with G-Zeus, and, you know, at the time, we were real excited about it, you know. It was like, finally, we got signed, but, you know, I guess it's like sometimes you just don't jump at the first opportunity because you don't really know what you're getting into. You know, because we never had an offer on the plate before. We never even really thought about it. I mean, we thought we needed to polish up a lot more before we started thinking about anything like that. And so we put it out, you know. It was 8 tracks, you know. They were pretty decent-sized tracks. It was a pretty decent LP. And, you know, it started getting picked up. I mean, they were playing that shit, like, in commercial clubs. It was real exciting at the time. But, I mean, you know, we really didn't get that much, man. He paid us, like, $5,000, you know. It sold, like, 20,000 copies, like, and that was just on local, like on vinyl. You know, the CD kind of blew up, but we didn't even know about the CD. He didn't tell us there was a CD. So for the second album, we got out of our contract with G-Zeus because we weren't going to get played no more, and so we recorded the second album on our own. We had our new equipment, and we were kind of riding the ego trip off of our first album. And, you know, the second one wasn't so hot, you know, it didn't really pick up as much. It was kind of rushed, you know. I think we just kind of needed the money, so we, like, pushed it out. You know, there was only 7 tracks on it, and there was, like, 3 interlude tracks just to make it sound longer, and so it was kind of bad, and it just didn't have the energy that the first one did.
About the time that we realized second record just wasn't going to cut it, first one did. You know, we all started hanging out with Crazier Joe, XMA. You know, he was a real loyal fan, you know, he made it to all the shows, you know, we became real good friends with him, but, you know, he brought us down, you know, a road we didn't think we were going to take.
You know, he was just a bad influence, but, you know, we were all young, and, you know, we just thought we were out having fun, and, so we were all riding the T, and, you know, we would just get fucked up on the tussin, and, you know, we'd be out riding the moped, shooting the spud gun at people, and it just wasn't pretty, you know. I mean, even our producer, DB, you know, we had DB out there, and he was riding the T as well, and it was just bad times.
I mean, it got bad. There were a couple times I thought we were going to do some serious time, but the worst times when I wasn't around, I get those calls 4 in the morning, you know, yeah, you know, we got to, you bail us out, man, you know, blah, 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 you know. Same old sad story, but, you know, I always did, but I was real nervous about that guy. He, I don't know, just something about him. And, man, did they look up to him. I mean, Xtra Krispy just loved him. But he was, you know, he's such a loyal fan. How could you not?
And then, so inevitably, that's when the accident happened. Me and Prep Rock, we were out, and we were fucked up on the tussin, and, you know, we were riding the lawnmower, because, you know, we had to sell the boat for more tussin money, and so we were robo-tripping, we were out there, and we were riding the tractor, probably going like 5 to 7 miles an hour. And, you know, that's when the little girl pulled out in the Power Wheel. And, you know, like, we swerved, we did what we could, but, you know, it was kind of inevitable. And, yeah, I can't remember much after that, you know. I just woke up, and the ambulance was already there, the sun had gone down, so we'd been out there in the ditch for at least a good 7 to 8 hours. And it, you know, just coming to and like realizing what would happened, and you know, kind of gets to you.
Then I got the call. About 3:30 in the morning, some fucking ER doctor calls me up saying, DJ Prep Rock, DJ Mmmkoocies, stuck in the fucking hospital. He got in some godforsaken fucking accident. So I rush over there. Of course, sure as shit, DJ Prep Rock busts his wrist. He can't spin no more, at least for the time being. But all in all, I mean, they made a pretty full recovery after a couple of weeks. I mean, the wrist healed up good, but, you know, they really hit that Tussin hard after that. I mean, hard. I would say definitely the worst. The worst it had ever been.
And so then, yeah, then one night we're out. You know, you gotta go around and go to the clubs and hear what's going on. And so we're there one night at Alumni, and all of a sudden, you know, like we hear this very familiar beat coming on, and you know, we're like, we both just look at each other like, it was us. It was Krispy, but you know, it was the same exact track, you know, the same beat, and then the lyrics came on, and it was like, oh my God, you know, G-Zeus. It was G-Zeus. G-Zeus stole our track, and you know, just put himself on top of it, and it was like, oh fuck, you know, what can we do? Because we didn't know at the time. I mean, we tried to take some action, but as it turned out, we sold all the rights to him when we signed it. You know, we got $5,000, and we sold him 8 tracks, 8 beats.
You know, G-Zeus really fucked him. I mean, really fucked him.
And it was just fucked up, you know. I mean, it kind of like outplayed our glory. You know, I mean, he'd redone our tracks. I mean, they sounded clean, like really clean, but I mean, all credited to him, you know. Like we saw the album in stores, and that was just a heartbreak, you know. And they started playing the single on the radio, and we were so pissed off, but there wasn't anything we could do. I mean, it kind of just overshadowed everything that we had done with the first album, you know. We were starting to drop off the map because the second one was kind of shit. And so things got tough then.
Yeah, I'd have to say, you know, out of the whole 18 months after that accident, I probably saw them sleep only maybe 2 hours. You know, and that's when they started, you know, cranking out their album. I mean, I don't know how they did it. I mean, I kept pushing for them to clean up, but day and night they were working on that third album. I mean, it was supposed to be their pride and joy.
So we were pretty broken up, and we just went on a massive bender for like a year and a half. We probably slept like 2 nights, and we started working on Illusion to Delusion, the conclusion, and it came out good. But you know, it was coming from a bad place. You know, it was coming from a real dark place. But I guess the times were dark too, so it really took off well. And you know, it was crazy. I mean, it took us the whole year and a half to record, because the only time we weren't riding the T was when we woke up. You know, usually like passed out like somewhere random, and so we would just pull ourselves together, and we'd go down and we'd start recording and mixing around. But you know, we were just so far gone. it was very trying, you know. I mean, and we pretty much go all day, and but I mean, we were so tossed out that you know, like there was no rhythm. There was just these weird sounds, and you know, when we'd sober up, we'd listen to them and be like, what? You know, like, what's this? Like, who are we trying to fool? You know, who are we kidding? It's crap. You know.
So, you know, after a while, they finally let me get a listen to this album, you know, and it was just jack shit. I mean, the shittiest shit in the world. I knew for a fact we were going to get sued by Warner Brothers for that line about the gun rack. I mean, who does that? Who rips off a line from Wayne's World and puts it on a rhyme? I mean, you gotta be kidding. But, you know, I just didn't have the heart to tell these guys it sucked. You know, I didn't know where to go with it, but, you know, I had to be honest. Otherwise, record sales were going to tell the tales, and they put so much heart into this thing. But, I mean, they were just hitting the Tussin too hard, you know. But, you know, after a little while, I mean, Bojangles came in DJ Prep's life, and, you know, she really straightened him out. You know, that little pussy goes a long way to straighten you out, I gotta say. I mean, I didn't think anything was going to turn around DJ Prep Rock. I mean, nothing. But like I said, pussy tells tales.
I think it was, I would definitely accredit Bojangles. When Bojangles came around, Bojangles really helped Prep Rock, you know, pull out of his rut and start, like, writing again. And Bojangles was a good cat, you know. He was always scrapping around, you know. He was kind of like, he was kind of like a metaphor for Xtra Krispy, you know, embodied in a cat. And he was a cool cat, a damn cool cat, you know. He was good at math and biology, and so he kind of helped us, like, pull through and, you know, like, get, like, general degrees, and, you know, we started to get, like, day jobs, you know, on the side, like, to just have some focus, you know. We couldn't just beat ourselves up over this whole G-Zeus deal, you know. We just had to keep going. We just had to, like, focus.
You know, as bad as that record sucked, you know, those boys, I mean, they got back in there. They started, you know, cleaning it up a lot. And lo and behold, turned out to be, you know, platinum. I mean, that thing went platinum in a heartbeat. You know, I started booking them some really good shows, you know, and then that's when they came out with their single, I Want to Talk to Faye. I mean, you can't beat that. I mean, I started booking them on Hurly Burly, and man, you know, I really didn't think those guys were going to make it through that T-ride. I mean, I never thought it was going to happen. But, you know, once I booked them at Hurly Burly, you know, things really started looking up for those guys, you know. They cleaned up, you know, they cut that record nice. It turned out to be the best album they put out. I mean, it went platinum, you know. Beat the shit out of their first one. You know, I look back on those guys now, and really turned out all right.
Well, the name, you know, that kind of came straight away. Yeah. We were up all night. It was the very first night that we started recording anything, and, you know, we didn't have a name for ourselves yet, and, you know, we weren't really, like, thinking about it, you know, we were just having fun at the time, and so, called up some, like, delivery, you know, we were getting hungry, you know, we were voices getting raspy, so it was time to take a break, and so we called up the chicken coop and ordered a big bucket, and you know, and then the lady on the phone, she was like, regular or Extra Crispy, and we both looked at each other and were like, Extra Crispy, you know, that was it, that was that, and that's how we became.